Go Wanderers! What's the cheer? Oh, the year was 1778. I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We're twins. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gamey
things.
That's
right. My name is Jamie.
I'm Jeef
And Jamey, and we are here today to do another episode of Board Games and Brew. And that is a weekly series where we drink some hot beverages and talk about board gamey things. And technically we are board gamers, so we ourselves are board gamey things. And today's video, we're doing a Q&A all about us.
to get to know us a little bit better.
You're gonna get
Should we mention our jerseys?
Yeah, these jerseys are matching.
So these jerseys are the local professional soccer team, football team here in the city, the Halifax Wanderers. They play in the Canadian Premier League. That would be a league below the MLS. And we're season ticket holders. They just reopened the stadium up again.
Yeah.
And we're going with our friends Dan and Bevan, hopefully in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Season opener.
It's been a while. The games are a lot of fun.
And that is also the hat you constantly see me wear.
Constantly he
Halifax Wanderers.
So that's the jersey.
We love the Wanderers. We do.
We love the Wanderers.
We do. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
We can't remember. It's been a long time. We're here today to do a Q&A, and we asked in a previous video for you guys to submit some questions, and we also asked our Patreons if they would like to submit some questions. And we've got a couple of pages of questions. I came prepared. I printed them out and everything. Let's start off. Ooh, a tough one first. Just kidding. Billy wants to know, Billy from Discord and Patreon. We love Billy. How did you two meet and what was your first board game together?
Do you want me to answer that?
I mean, you can if you want. I'm interested to know if you actually remember the first time we met.
Well, the first time we would have met would have been at university.
It was actually before I even went to university.
I don't know exactly when we met. Jamie can fill this in. I'm a year older than Jamie. I lived in residence at university my first year. And Jamie actually would have been dating someone else that lived in the same residence as me that year.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to wager the first time you met me was at a party and I was drunk.
Actually, that would have been the second time I met you.
Okay.
The first time I met you, you were hanging from the door frame in Hunton, which is the residence of the university. Yeah. And I remember the person I was dating at the time was like, oh yeah, this is Brent. I think Tom was there, and this is Jeff. Jeff's on the football team. And I was like, okay.
So a little bit of context. When I was in university, I did play on the football team. I did not last very long just due to the constraints of football/education, and I chose the education route. But I did play football. I was a punter. When we eventually answer our size and height, that'll make more sense because I'm a very small human. When I tell people that I played football at a high level, they're usually like, what? But I was a punter. That's
the first time we technically met, but Jeff and I went to university together. So I went to that same university the following year.
Same residence.
We lived in the same residence. We had a lot of the same friends, but we didn't.
Yeah,
we would have been at parties together and stuff, but I didn't really talk to Jeff and he didn't really talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't really like you then, so.
That's not true. He was obviously just intimidated by me and my brilliance.
Yeah, that would be like the first time we met. And then just to caveat, because people will be like, well, then how are you together?
Yep, and then we never talked again.
Later on in life, Jamie moved to the city. So I've been living in Halifax for longer than Jamie. She was at school somewhere else, and she was moving back to the city, and she kept asking me to go out on dates. I kept saying no and no and no, and then eventually I said yes. And so when she moved back to the city, we went on a date, and then the rest is kind of history.
Jeff asked me out 10 times before I said yes.
It was not 10 times.
I can go back through the old messages and check.
Oh, God, it was not 10 times.
But it was at least 6 to 10 times. Anywho's, yeah, we got back together.
Yeah,
we reunited.
Reunited later in life. She came over, we watched The Office.
And that was it.
She got lost in the tiny parking lot of my apartment complex.
I couldn't find it. So that's how we met. in a nutshell. I'm sure that there's more to it.
There's way more to it.
But our first board game together, we were like thinking about this, and it's really hard to say.
I think it's phase 10.
I think it was phase 10 if you count that as a board game. If not, it was probably Adventure Time Monopoly or Pokemon Masters.
Pokemon Masters, yeah.
We got heavy into those bad boys when we were living in Fredericton for a while.
Yeah, but if you're talking about like, game...
Like modern board game?
Yeah.
It would have been Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. But we definitely were playing phase 10 long before.
So that was probably our first board game together.
Yeah.
So next up from Janelle, she said, hey guys, that's how Janelle talks. Hey guys, I'd like to know what led you into Scythe Game of Thrones, which encouraged you deep into the hobby. There's a very simple answer for this, and that is my brother Zach. He introduced us to the hobby in general with Game of Thrones. Who introduced us to Scythe even? Was it Jason?
I think it was one. I think it might have been Jason, primarily through her brother. Zach has been a big board gamer for as long as I've known him.
Yeah.
And so specific to Game of Thrones, I was reading the books and we were super into that world. And then it was like, oh, there's this Game of Thrones board game. Obviously we want to play that.
Heck yeah.
Stumbled through it 2 or 3 plays worth and then got the hang of it. And then it hit the table constantly.
And then she says, also slightly off topic on board gamey things, what is your favorite Disney character and your favorite video game? Disney character. Do you have one in mind?
Man, that's tough.
I know mine.
You go ahead. I'll think about it.
Mine is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I have him tattooed on my arm, but I think there's a question about that later, so no spoilers. But yeah, I love Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is one of my faves.
Yeah, see, this is tough because I feel like I'll pick one and then 5 minutes from now I'll be like, no, it's actually this, and then I'll pick another one and another one.
I wonder if I could guess.
Do you think you could? I think you probably could come close.
Is it like a Boo or Genie?
Very close. I'm between Aladdin or Genie. I think it's Genie.
Yeah.
I love Genie. I love Aladdin. It's definitely my favorite.
Usually one of Jeff's go-tos when we're like, let's watch a Disney movie. He's like, what about Aladdin?
Yeah, I love Aladdin. Yeah.
And then video games. I'll go first because mine is very simple. It's Animal Crossing. I play the heck out of that game.
Yeah, that's another tough one for me because it's hard to compare games, but I'm a kind of a SNES nostalgic kind of guy, so I definitely would have to pick Chrono Trigger.
Tecmo Football.
That is also up
Tecmo.
there. Super Tecmo Bowl for NES is also like 1A.
What about the Booger one?
Booger Man?
Yeah.
Nah.
A pick and flick adventure.
It's good, but it definitely doesn't touch those other two.
James Cletus.
Jim.
Jimothy.
Our boy Jim.
Our foster child.
I love Jim.
I do too.
I love all of you, but...
Yeah, we love all of you.
A little special shout out to Jim. He's got a special little place in my heart.
Yeah, and he's moved to Disney, so. Yeah. Jim asks, I am so into the hobby, but my wife is meh. Any suggestions on how to make her wish to play at least once in a while? It's a really good question, and I think you just have to find
the game,
whatever it might be. If it's a party game, if it's a card game, and then eventually start introducing new things, but you got to start simple. You don't want to intimidate people.
This is a question that's actually come up recently between the two of us because we're trying to introduce more of our friends to the hobby.
You're trying to trick them into the
hobby. We're trying to trick them into the hobby. Identify something that's board game adjacent that they like to do, and then find that mechanic in a board game. For example, like if she likes to put puzzles together, maybe you grab a tile placement game.
King Domino,
Patchwork, something like that.
Yeah.
And then go from there. Or if she likes just generic card games or whatever, find a
Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet or something that are Fox in the Forest. There's enough things that people are interested in hobby-wise that has some form of like adjacency in board gaming. It's a tough thing to do, but that would be the best advice I think I could provide.
Yeah, we introduced Jeff's mom to King Domino because she really likes puzzles, and she really liked it. She wanted to keep playing it. Like we played it 3 times.
And my mom is not a gamer.
And we've got a few of Jeff's friends who came over recently. We introduced him to a few games, but I know that like Dan, as an example, he's very competitive and like sports and racing and stuff. So I'm like, oh, we got to play Downforce with him. We just don't happen to own it.
Yeah, we mentioned it to him and he was super into that. And Dan is also a big chess player. So we also pulled out King Domino and he had a lot of fun with it. And then we upgraded to Space Base. And then my other friend Dan, so they're both named Dan, really bought into Space Base. So that was just kind of lucky. And don't push it. If they don't want to play, they will not have a good time regardless of how good the game is. So
I also
be mindful of that.
About co-op games too, to start. Like something like Chronicles of Crime, where you're like, hey, like here's this thing, let's do this thing
solve this
together.
puzzle.
All right. Oh no.
Yeah, we're not going to get some of these names.
Brett? It's
Brett?
it might be Brett, BRGT. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel, and have you played Twisted Fables? We'll answer the second one first because no, we have not played it, and I don't think I've ever actually even heard of it. I've heard of Stuffed Fables.
I've heard of Twisted Fables. I think it was talked about in the Discord. Discord's
lit. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel? So Jeff and I had a YouTube channel previous to this one for a solid, I gotta do math, 2013. For 7 years before we started this one. It definitely dwindled off by that like 6th and 7th year, but for like 5 solid years, I was going strong with the old channel.
Very successfully as well, I should add. She did a really good job building that channel.
It was called Ermagerd Burks, and it was all about books and reading and all that good stuff, because that is another one of mine and Jeff's hobbies. And it was something really fun that we could do together. So I started the channel by myself, and then I invited Jeff into a video. We like to have fun. So the videos with Jeff were way more fun to do. And I think that eventually we stopped reading as much because life got busy, and Jeff stopped doing videos with me. So I was doing them by myself, which was just not as fun. So I wasn't having nearly enough fun anymore, so I stopped that channel. Though we'll randomly post on there every now and then, maybe like once or twice a year.
Yeah, it's still active.
It was a hobby that I really, really enjoyed. Like, YouTube is one of my favorite hobbies, has been for a very long time. And so obviously we got into board games, and we've been talking about it for like a year.
I'm doing laundry.
We need a new dryer.
That's not the dryer.
Oh, geez, we need a new washer. Yeah, so we've been talking about it for like a year, and then throughout the pandemic, we were like, should we, shouldn't we? But it is so much work. I don't even know what made us decide to dive in. It was just like one day I was like, let's just do it. And then I filmed a video, posted it up, and I was like, yep, let's just do this again, and we're gonna keep doing it as long as it's fun.
We have an agreement that we sometimes discuss if this ever becomes a thing that we stress about, like actually stress about.
It can be very stressful sometimes.
If it ever gets to that point, then we will stop.
Yeah, just like the old channel. Like we're literally just doing this because we love to do it, and it's fun for us. It's a hobby. It's something that we're doing together. When we do the YouTube channel, it encourages us to play our games more. So yeah, that's kind of what led us into it, and we're gonna keep doing it so long as we're having fun.
Yep, absolutely.
Sean Luke. Sean, I know that one. Aside from board gaming, what are your other hobbies? I will let you go first on that one.
Sure.
You have many a hobby.
So yeah, I'm all over the map. I love to read. I'm a big sports guy, so I still play hockey, softball. I love astronomy, so I have a telescope. I've dipped a little bit into astrophotography, but I'm just not creative enough,
pretty sweet picture of the moon, though.
Nor do I have enough money to really get into that hobby. My goodness, video games, which actually has dwindled significantly. Video games, organized sport, astronomy, books, and board games.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much summarizes it.
My hobbies include reading, doing YouTube, golf. Yeah. You didn't mention golf, but that's kind of the only sport that I play at this moment. That's it. And board games. Like, I don't have a ton of hobbies. I work a lot.
I think the board games take up a lot of time too.
Board games take up a lot of time. When I feel like I have more time, I really enjoy playing Animal Crossing. I like to pick up new hobbies and then immediately put them down. I've tried watercoloring, ukulele,
even though it's
coloring, knitting. I tried that stitching one.
It's all good. But Jamie wants instant
gratification, instant success.
She wants to be immediately good at something. Yeah. And that just is not how it works.
I do also run a little business on the side where I make bookmarks and prints and magnets and stuff like that. The Etsy shop is called Otter Nonsense Designs, but I would say YouTube is probably my biggest hobby right now besides board games. Daniel Staub.
Is that Roar I'm Dan?
Rat.
I think it is.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan. What's your favorite party game? I know mine. I don't know if it's classified as a party game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, like, do you want me to go?
Go for it.
I'll pick two. I'll pick one that's, like, party adjacent, which I don't think would be qualified as a party game, but I qualified as a party game. And that'd be Camelot.
Camelot? That's one of mine.
I just think that game plays incredibly well as a party game, depending on the group you play it with. And you can make it as fun as you want to. If I'm to pick a pure party game, which isn't really a thing I play a ton of.
I like that one. I think it's called Monikers in the US, but
yeah.
Time's Up. But we've never actually played Time's Up the game. We've just played it
We've played it like
we just made
ad
up.
hoc.
Yeah.
I don't play a ton of party games.
We don't go to a lot of parties.
No.
In any of those settings, Camel Up is
yeah.
one that
I would rather
always
play.
want to play.
I'd rather play Camel Up.
Billy, again, what are your favorite video games? We already answered that. And do they have anything in common with your favorite board game? So that's a bit of a different twist.
There is a correlation between like specific video games I enjoy and if they come out as an IP, like Witcher, for example. So The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite board games or video games of all time. The board game came out. I'm highly likely to get that game based off of my enjoyment from the Witcher video game series. But on top of that, there are elements of games that will come out that are somewhat based in video games. Like, for example, I love Overboss and I love Boss Monster because of that art style, that 8-bit art style that I love from playing SNES and NES games.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is cute. The board games I like are cute. That's about it. Also, I like any game that I can design a character.
Also, Stardew Valley, which is a game we can't get our hands on. I love Stardew Valley, the video game, and that is a board game that I really want to get.
I also really like Mortal Kombat, and I like games where I could fight people.
Jamie plays me in Mortal Kombat, and she'll be like, you can't do any sweet moves.
He knows all the combos, and it's not
You can't do
fair.
any combos.
I do button mashes.
So I just have to stand there when she just like punches me.
Finish him.
She'll just kick me and punch.
Get over here. Yeah. All right, Leanne, are there any games that you really disagree on? Yes. Where one of you rates high and the other rates low? We disagree on Agricola. I do not like that
I don't know
game.
if we'd rank them. I don't know if I'd rank Agricola high.
one of my
I do
lowest
like
ranked.
Agricola.
Quacks.
I don't love it. Quacks, that's a good
I
one.
love Quacks.
I don't
Jeff
hate
meh.
Quacks. I'm trying to think of one where you love and I hate though, or the other way around. Oh, no, I don't love Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
Ugh, I hate that game. Ugh. Just trying to. Well, Agricola is one that jumps out at me. Just like yuck. Quantum.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Quantum is a good one. I find it horribly boring.
Yeah, Jamie hates Quantum. I really like Quantum. Very much so, actually.
Everdell.
That's another good one. So we picked two. Quantum because I love Quantum. It's very like
boring.
It's very chessy. Like you're moving these dice around and manipulating dice spaces, and they represent ships. Very boring, I think, for Jamie, but it's got a space theme, and I absolutely love Quantum.
I find it boring.
Jamie hates it.
And I love Everdell. I love Everdell. And Jeff, every time we play it, he's like,
I wouldn't say I hate Everdell, but it's close.
I love it because it's cute. Another one from Billy.
Billy, lighten up the comments.
Billy, lighten up the comments. Team Jamie. Yeah. What are the stories behind your tattoos? So I've got a couple.
Mine I might cry if I explain it to you.
Aww.
I'm a very emotional human, so I cry easily.
So we'll start with the first one I ever got. Maybe I'll do like some close-ups and stuff, but I have a tattoo here on this arm that says "Until the Very End," which is a Harry Potter quote. And because I love Harry Potter and I have ever since it first came out, I grew up with Harry Potter. Until the very end, which if you're a Harry Potter fan, you will remember Harry says that to everybody when he sees all their ghosts, and he says, "Will you be with me?" And then they say, "Until the very end." And it's one of my favorite quotes. And I got this tattoo the day after our wedding. I went into our wedding tattoo-less, and I walked out with a tattoo. Then I have the next one I got, I think, was the wave, which I always forget that I have. I live on the East Coast next to the ocean, so that's part of it, but realistically, I just went to the tattoo shop with my friend, and she was getting a tattoo, and she was getting a tattoo, and the lady was like, "Do you want one?" I was like, "Sure." So I just picked something, and I got it. Then on this arm, I have a fox. Foxes are my favorite animals, my spirit animal. If I had a Patronus, it would be a fox. Yeah, I don't know, I wanted a fox, so I got one there. And then my favorite is my Disney tattoo. I have Stitch, Pascal, and the little salamander from Frozen 2 catching snowflakes. And the plan is for this whole arm to be a Disney sleeve. So working on that. I think I might get 0 from Nightmare Before Christmas next.
Nice.
Now you go.
So mine is from Lord of the Rings, and it's when Pippin, in the movies, I should say, because it's different in the books, I'm not going to get into the differences. In the movies, Pippin sings to Denethor. Anyway, it says, "Home is behind, the world is ahead, and there are many paths to tread through shadows until the edge of night, until the stars are all alight. And that is one half of the song. So I took a long time to get a tattoo because it needed to mean something to me. And I know that that's not always the case for everyone, but for me, I wanted to get a tattoo that meant something to me. And I'm not going to get into it because I will start crying, but I've been through a significant amount of shit in my life, pardon my French. Self-inflicted problems as well as external problems that I've dealt with. And this quote resonated with me because it just proves that no matter what you deal with in life, you can always come out better. That resonated really well with me, just with everything I've been through. And so I put it on my arm. And same as Jamie, I eventually would like this to be a sleeve, Lord of the Rings based.
We're gonna have matching. And shout out to Lacey who did our tattoos. She did my Disney one and Jeff's Lord of the Rings one, and I will never go to another tattoo artist.
She was awesome.
She was amazing. Not to say that the rest aren't good, but
I mean, I was
like the quality of this tattoo is exactly what I wish the quality of all of my tattoos were, but you know. They're not. So if you're in Halifax, Lacey Tattoos, I don't remember what their shop is called, but I'll put it down below. But it's like a really cool, like 50s style. Rice Moody, and he just asked, do you have a BGG list? Yes, we do. I will link it below. We try to keep it as updated as we can with the games that we own, but all of our plays should be tracked in there because I keep everything tracked on BGG stats because that's how we keep the competition alive. Hashtag Team Jamie. Next up is from Leanne again. Leanne, you're funny. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes, it does.
So this is coming out of our Discord. We're having a heated debate right now.
We have an entire channel dedicated to this.
Whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza. As a Canadian, and given that Hawaiian pizza was created in Canada, and it is ham and pineapple and other stuff, yes, pineapple absolutely belongs on pizza. I don't eat a pizza now unless it has pineapple on it. If I have the choice.
Yeah.
I understand that in Italy, and if we have any Italian viewers, they're going to be like, and blow me up. I understand that it's like blasphemy, but I don't care. It tastes so friggin' good. And I love it. So yes, it absolutely belongs on pizza.
Yeah.
Team Doolin or Team Max? I'm Team Doolin.
I'm Team Max.
Suckers.
Suckers. So we're split, just like they're split.
Just like they're split.
Yeah, me and Max, ride or die. Although Doolin and I have the same
it's very
game
weird.
Taste. We're we're basically twins.
It should be flipped.
It should be flipped, but it's
But Max is too stubborn.
In the spirit of the competition.
Max is too stubborn to come over to my team. And so Doolin is Team Jeff, even though I think in his heart he's Team Jamie.
Yeah.
But Max should be Team Jeff and Doolin should be Team Jamie. But again, Max just won't do the switch.
Doesn't need to. He's on the right team. So Richard asks, what's your day job? Richard is Scythe Noir.
Scythe Noir.
Our day jobs. Would you like to go first? What?
I need to pee.
Oh, go pee. God. He won't make it. When he's got to go, he's got to go.
A little tiny bladder.
Tiniest bladders. There's a good Q&A for you. How small is Jeff's bladder? It's the smallest. What is your day job?
I am a... I was gonna make a dirty joke.
Male escort.
I'm a product manager for a affiliate marketer that works in the realm of sports betting.
Scandal.
Which I know it sounds like a mouthful, but basically, yeah, I'm a product manager. I liaison between a bunch of different teams, developers, marketing, yada, 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 yada.
In the IT sector.
In the IT sector, yeah.
I am the director of employee experience for a company called Over the Edge, which is the coolest company in the whole wide world, but I might be biased. We send people over skyscrapers, rappelling over skyscrapers to raise money for nonprofits, and it's cool. If you want to do it, let me know, and I will find an event near you that you can volunteer for and or go over the edge yourself, which is awesome. But basically, I'm in HR, but I'm fun HR because I don't like all the boring HR stuff. I do all the fun stuff. My other job is YouTube.
Yep.
Which sometimes feels like it's 50-50.
Jeremy.
Jer Bear.
Our love.
Yeah, Jer Bear. He says, you two seem to get along so well. How often or what kind of games result in some serious bickering? Well, Jer, all games can result in serious bickering if you try hard enough.
All of them. Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet. Like, there have been times we've played Silver Bullet where either Jeff or myself will be like, this game is stupid and I'm never playing it again, because one of us inevitably will get on a hot streak and it just is infuriating for the other person. Other games, Quacks, can get pretty heated because Jeff never pulls out anything. Parks, because it's usually the games that Jeff's not good at.
That's not true.
It's
That is not
I know
true.
one. Sheepy time.
Yeah, which I'm very good at.
Yeah,
and
and I'm not, and that makes me so mad.
I don't think any of those touch Silver Bullet, though.
No.
Silver Bullet is in its own stratosphere. I would caveat this with something interesting. Like, he states, like, you two seem to get along so well. It's interesting because, like, we have this competition. We're super competitive people. And yes, when we play Silver Bullet, we will get, like, angry.
Yeah.
After 2 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think, and we've talked about this before, in the entirety of our relationship, like, we will fight, but it's over incredibly quickly. Like, usually one of us will look at the other 5 minutes after, like, a fight, and then one of us will smirk, and then we're laughing. Like, we've never been, like...
We've never had, like, a blow up.
I don't think we've ever had a blow up, ever.
And our fights are always about something stupid.
Very stupid, yeah, 100%. But yeah, like, Silver Bullet, but it's almost like, I'm not really mad at Jamie. I'm mad that I lost.
Yeah, that's
And I'm, like, annoyed that I lost. I'm usually like, I never want to play this game again, or, like, I want to play again right now.
I'm just trying to think of games that have, like, take that, where it's like you can purposely screw someone over.
Games in general, like, if we're playing a four-player game, we all both. I'm more victim of this than Jamie, I think. But like, if we're playing like a 4-player game of Scythe or whatever, Jamie will purposely make it so that I can't win. Like, if she's not gonna win, I'm going down with her.
Yeah.
And that really bugs me.
Yeah, we go down together.
Like, she will purposely screw me over, even though she could do a turn that might help me. She won't. It's like, nope, you're coming down.
No mercy.
Yeah.
Play like a champion.
That really gets me too. But I also do it to her, so I can't really be that mad.
Jeff never wants to be on a team with me.
Never.
No betray.
No.
But I always betray.
No. Yeah.
First question from Kyle. Kyle King, our man Kyle.
This is a great question.
Being on camera, are you more cognizant of how often you get your hair cut? That's a question for Jeff, because I get my hair cut 1 time per year.
I obviously wear a hat every video, pretty much, so I don't really care. It's more so the beard, I think.
That can get out of control.
I get pretty scraggly because I don't have an office to go into. I work remote right now, so I don't really shave as much as I probably should, even though I did shave today. Like, in terms of my hair, like, I don't really...
Sick flow.
I'll get it cut once every month and a half or so.
Yeah.
When it gets a bit long, but it has nothing to do with, like, the channel.
No, it's more so it just starts to get annoying.
Yeah.
To him when he gets his long sideburns. It's
funny because, like, people are always like, you always have a hat on. I have a hat on all the time.
Like, literally, he has a hat on all of the time.
And it's actually new. Like, I never used to wear a hat this much.
You've always worn a hat.
No, no. Sorry, like, before you. Like, before I was with Jamie, like, I didn't really wear a hat that ton. That ton. But, yeah, I always have a hat on now. I just don't want to deal with the hair thing. Like, and it's different because, again, I'm not going into the office.
Yeah.
So, and, like, I work in a pretty chill environment. Again, I work in the sports world, so...
Everybody wears hats.
Most of my team has a hat on or a hoodie or whatever. Good question, Kyle. You're asking the real questions here.
Deep questions.
Yeah.
All right, now we got Jake Jackpot. Is your name Jake or Jack? It's Jake.
He's got 5?
He's got 5.
Jake,
Our man Jake. What do you both think is a misconception viewers make about the two of you as board gamers? I think that people think that we know what we're talking about.
I was going to say that our opinion
matters. It doesn't. Our opinion does not matter.
I wish there was a better way to express this in all of our videos. I never want someone to hear us talk about games we love or have bought or rank or whatever and be like, I need to buy that. I never want you to do that.
Except for Silver Bullet, you should buy that game.
I kind of get a little bit, like, concerned when I see comments of, like, people being like, I went out and bought this, can't wait to play it. I'm like, I don't want that on my conscience.
The washing machine was singing. Go ahead.
Because then I feel guilty if you don't like it.
Right.
It's one thing to watch our videos and see that we like these games, and if you like what we like normally, that's another thing. Our opinions are not law.
No.
Go watch multiple people talk about these games, research, and make, because games are not cheap. Just having some of that in mind, I think, would be the one thing I wish I could express better.
Yeah. When I watch reviews, I just watch reviews of people that my tastes align with, and that's usually what I go with, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, sometimes we get really excited about games. Jeff you get really passionate about it.
Yep. Which
is a great thing. And you might every now and then say like, this is a must buy, but like he doesn't actually mean it when he says that. Like nothing is
I try not. I've caught myself a few times.
Yeah.
I think I was worse for it when we first started, and I wasn't cognizant of that.
Definitely more so now. And I think for me, I don't know so much about our viewers, but I feel like I have experienced this as a board gamer, as a woman, that sometimes people don't think that I know what I'm doing when I'm playing games, and that is probably my biggest pet peeve. But yeah, that's more so just, I think this is a very male-dominated hobby. Luckily, that's changing, and I love to see that changing. Specifically, like in our Discord, there's a ton of, we've got females, males, non-binary. We have everybody, which is amazing, and I love to see that representation, but I think that can be something that does happen.
100%.
And like you've seen it happen to me before when 100%. Someone has like over-explained something to me and I'm like, no, I get it. Like I know how to play this. We have only been playing games since 2016. We don't know everything about games. We don't know nearly anything about them. Like we still don't even know what a Euro game is. People have tried to explain it to us. We don't get it, and that's okay.
And I don't really care.
I don't really care. Like we're in this hobby to have fun, and I think that's
probably actually a really good overarching misconception.
Yeah.
That I want people to come watch us and enjoy our content, but we are never going to be the rules barons or this is how this game is meant to be played, and if you play it, like we just have fun, man. Like
we just have fun.
That's kind of always what we're gonna do, and we'll never not be that. And one last thing that I would like to mention, and I don't mean this as like confrontational, but it really upsets me when I see like comments or whatever that like about like Jamie's like cute game love or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just because people like cute games doesn't mean they don't like or know Euro games. Like I don't know, there's this sometimes there's these weird connections between
games,
liking lighter games and not being like a true gamer. And that I'm not jiving with that. That's a bit of nonsense in my opinion. There's enough games in this realm that everyone can enjoy it, and it doesn't make anyone a true gamer over something else, and that really bothers me. There's enough space for everyone to enjoy this.
What is a game that you just can't get? Like, you just don't get what people like about it or why it's popular? Agricola.
Spirit Island.
Oh, Spirit Island.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, I don't like Agricola, but Spirit Island, we owned it. We played it.
A lot.
At 2 players, at 3 players.
This isn't a 2-play get rid of. We played it a lot.
I remember when we got that game, we played it every night for like a couple weeks, and every time we're like, maybe next time we're gonna win, or I think now I like it, but it was like we were forcing ourselves to like it because it's such a popular game. We ended up selling it. It's the only game that we have sold. So I just don't get the hype. I feel like, some people really enjoy that challenge of losing, and that Jeff and I don't like to lose, and we have never won Spirit Island, and we've played it like 10 plus times.
Everyone loves that game, and again, if you disagree with our take on this, that's 100% totally fine and okay.
We probably just had the wrong strategies.
Spirit Island is that game for us. We just don't like it.
Next question from Jake. If you had to make your own game, what theme would you use and what mechanic? I have thought about this, and I would have to say it would have to be a racing push your luck game. But the theme, I was thinking TM, trademark.
It's in the public domain. You can't trade. You can't.
I was thinking like something like a rabbit and the hare racing game where like...
Isn't a rabbit a hare?
Oh wait, the tortoise and the hare racing game where like the tortoise has like different ways that it can move, and the rabbit has different ways.
Different animal types.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that would be what I would go for.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I definitely would have to be a racing game because those are the most fun.
That's tough for me.
Space.
Yeah, because I feel like my theme and mechanic has been done 100 times, so I'm not gonna blow anyone away with this, but probably a dungeon crawler RPG, but I would want the theme to be like Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
Or like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
A Legend of Zelda like Gloomhaven.
Oh.
Or
that'd be fun.
Ninja Turtles were a big part of my childhood, and I still love the Ninja Turtles. that theme, paste it onto a Gloomhaven would
That
be
would be
so
awesome. I would
But
play
yeah,
that
would be my two.
Next one from Jake. What scares you most about doing YouTube and what excites you the most? Ooh.
How real do you want to get here?
Let's get real. This is a Q&A, man. There's no limit.
What scares me the most is, regardless of how inclusive you try to be, it is incredibly difficult to include everyone.
Yeah.
And
we try really hard.
Given that you're in the public space and given the world that we now live in, it is an incredibly difficult thing to navigate. We are incredibly inclusive people.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to enjoy this hobby.
Yeah, I don't know. We try to be as inclusive as we possibly can. We love everyone, and we want everyone except for meanies and weenies. We just don't want people to be rude weenies.
I don't want people to be rude to us. I don't want people to be rude to other people that watch our videos.
That's a good point with Jeff. Like, Jeff is a mama bear.
Yeah. There's a weird thing with me. Like, I will make jokes.
He doesn't like bullies.
I'll make jokes and jest with Jamie about like, oh, how could you pick a cute game? And ha ha ha. Like, we joke about that stuff all the time. But when it gets to a level of actually bullying, I have a big problem with bullying. Yeah. Like, it is a significant thing that I wish was not a thing that existed. Mm-hmm. And there's a rabbit hole I could go down with this stuff. But yeah, that sort of like dialogue, if it's in our comments, if it's in our Discord, like that will be shut down immediately. I just have no time for that. That's definitely the biggest
scariest
stress.
part for you. I think a big stress for me is that I swear a lot.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And
I got a potty mouth.
Like, we really need to we really need to be careful about like what we say and how we say it. But like we cuss. We do be cussing.
We be cussing.
And we block it out of the videos as much as we can because we understand that that's not something that everybody enjoys. Mm-hmm. And it is something that I find myself being really mindful of in the Discord. Mm-hmm. There's some pretty funny gifts that I could be sending that have swears in them, but I know that not everybody likes that. So that is something that scares me, is that I'm just like...
You'll
feel like
mess up.
Yeah, and we are like 100% ourselves, but I feel like, well, I would say 99% because there is that 1% where it's like, well, if I was really myself, I would be saying the F word right now, maybe.
We just have to be accountable to ourselves that we are not just in our own bubble talking, to Jamie's point, like throwing some F-bombs out or saying poop, but the other word, like just little things like that we would do around a table together. Yeah. And so we just need to be accountable to ourselves that not everyone is in that space. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. All of that adds some serious stress.
Yeah.
I don't want to be...
Yeah, we don't filter ourselves at home. It's funny because we don't have to filter ourselves at work either.
Yeah, like, nor do I.
Everybody at my job swears all the time. So I'm like, okay, so this is like a totally different. Anyways, that is something that scares me. And then in terms of like what excites us the most, I think probably for both of us, it's the community and getting to know people. And I think we've already built this Discord with Table Knots of like this incredible community. There's people from all over. We've met so many different people, and that's really exciting. And I hope that we can continue to do that, and that it can continue to be an inclusive space. And really also just the fact that we get to introduce this hobby to so many people and are getting them excited about it, I think is awesome.
I love when we get a comment on videos or on the Discord of like, I'm new to the hobby and I bought this game because you guys loved it and we really love it, and now me and my wife play together. Like, I think I have a serious like connection with people that play games with their significant other.
That's what we do. Because
we do that, or like if it's with your parents or with your kids, like that sense of community, I think, is what, to Jamie's point, the thing that excites us the most. Mm-hmm. Just getting people playing games together, talking about games, interacting, and like people are on the Discord playing BGA together now. Like, I couldn't ask for anything more. Yeah. The rest is just gravy. The views, the subs, like...
Yeah, and I get really excited when, like, you see analytics on YouTube, and one that I do watch is our percentage of female viewers. Yeah. Which right now is at 15%, which is not much, but I know that it is more than a lot of people have, and I'm just excited to watch that number continue to tick up as more people get into the hobby. And I think I find that really exciting. But yeah, the diversity and inclusivity of this hobby, I want to see it to continue to grow. Yeah, I just think that that's really exciting to see the hobby and the people who are playing games is always evolving. And I love that. Last one from Jake. If you could have one game right now, what would it be? Instant ship to your house, best quality with all the add-ons.
Boo. Return to Dark Tower, I think. Oh, there's so many. Jake. I was going to say Tainted Grail, but I have that coming.
I kind of want one that I didn't. Ooh, Stardew Valley.
It's got to be a game that like you don't think you'll ever be able to get.
Well,
though.
the one that I'm thinking of was on Kickstarter,
Confrontation.
Confrontation's actually a really good
Lord
one.
of the Rings Confrontation.
Lord of the Rings Confrontation, but I was thinking one that was recently on Kickstarter that I feel like won't come to retail. I really don't know though, and that is The Boogeyman.
They got enough games, but like if I'm to pick one,
Lord of the Rings Confrontation is definitely.
I'm probably between Lord of the Rings Confrontation and Return to Dark Tower or Stardew Valley.
All right, back to Kyle with his weird question.
Oh man, this one was weird.
Not weird, but just really hard. Kyle asks, kill one, experience it one more time, keep forever. And you have to decide as a couple. Silver Bullet, Disney movies, and Lord of the Rings.
This is brutal, man. Kyle, like, are you trying to create a divide here? There's no way we're not killing Silver Bullet.
Yeah, Silver Bullet's the kill.
Like, that's neat. When you're putting that up against whether or not we could ever watch Disney movies or Lord of the Rings, like, okay, so I think it's pretty easy.
Okay.
I think you're keeping Disney forever.
I have a thought in my head. Follow me here. Disney movies, millions. And
Fair.
You get to experience them each one more time. That's going to last us a lifetime. Lord of the Rings, there's only 3.
So it's just Disney movies? It doesn't include Disney World? We're using your wording against you, Kyle.
Yeah, we're using your wording. It says Disney movies.
Okay.
But then if I could only watch Frozen once for the rest of my life, I would probably cry. But I feel that way about Lord of the Rings too.
Listen, I'm willing to sacrifice Lord of the Rings for your Disney movies.
Okay.
Okay. We're killing Silver Bullet. Yeah, I think that's an easy one.
Sad still.
We're watching Lord of the Rings one more time.
Yep.
We're keeping Disney movies forever. So all those people in the Discord and on YouTube comments that are at me because I wouldn't give Jamie a bite of my grilled cheese.
Remember that?
Look what I just did.
You didn't give me his grilled cheese.
Look
I didn't give him
did.
my grilled cheese today either.
Yeah, and she didn't give me a bite of her grilled cheese today either.
So those are all of our Patreon questions. We have a few more from comments, which I think that we can go through pretty quickly. This is going to be a very long video. First from Jeffrey, another Jeff. Jeffrey Mishra Marzetti.
Why wasn't this number 1 based on name alone?
What games have you played that you were super excited about, but after a few plays you've cooled on, and vice versa? What games didn't make a great first impression, but have really grown on you?
Probably gonna have to pee again.
Oh my god. So for games that I've cooled on, I'm gonna say Chronicles of Crime. When we first got that game, I was like, this is the coolest! And then we played through a few and I was like, it's not the coolest. I still like it, but I've definitely majorly cooled on it. And I haven't played any, oh, that's a lie. I've played the 1900s expansion. I don't remember. I played one of the expansions and that one was very good.
One I was super excited about and then cooled on is Charterstone.
Definitely.
So Charterstone was our first legacy game and we were new-ish to the hobby, not super new, but new-ish. And when I first started playing Charterstone, I was like, this is the best game I've ever played in my life. And then as we went through the campaign, it got a bit repetitive. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, it's okay. It's cute. Yeah, just was kind of meh about it. But up front, I was like, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It is a great game. And I would recommend it playing with like kids and stuff.
What about vice versa?
You look, I gotta pee again.
So in terms of games that we were kind of like meh at first and then they grew on us, I'm going to say Seasons, because the first time that we played it, I found it to be overwhelming. It was pretty close to when we first started in the hobby, and now it's like one of my favorite games. So Seasons is definitely one for me.
Mine is Root. The first time we played Root, we only played it at 2-player, and we didn't have any expansions or anything, and it was just kind of like this bland 2-player game.
Yeah.
Recently, I've gotten to play it at 3-player, and I've gotten to play a few more leader games. So to answer that question, I went from like, meh, this is okay, to like, I love Root.
John Hedberg asks, best gaming experience and game you most look forward to playing that you have not played yet. I lean towards Camel Up.
I'm leaning towards Camel Up in any of its iterations that we've played it.
Yeah,
it always plays incredibly well.
Yeah, I love that game.
I think but I will say the first time we played it and everyone was yelling Camel Up.
Gloomhaven definitely sticks out too, I would say.
Yeah.
And game you most look forward to playing that you've not played yet. Nidavellir. We talk about it every friggin' day. Every time we get on BGA, Max is like, who's learned it? None of us have learned it.
Max is supposed to be learning it, so.
Learn it, Max.
I have 3.
Yeah.
That are pretty equivalent.
Tainted Grail.
Yeah. Tainted Grail, which I am getting, so I will get to experience that. Mechs versus Minions. I really want to play. I just can't pull the trigger on buying that game. And the third is Kingdom Death Monster.
Stuff of Legends is one for Stuff of Legend. Yeah. But it's not even on Kickstarter yet. I want it.
Are you backing that one?
I don't think it's out yet. But
are you going to?
I might. It depends.
We've been talking about not doing any games.
We're not supposed to be buying any more games. Mattercrombie and Fish.
Mattercrombie.
He's in the Discord.
Dirty Randy.
They're all in the Discord.
He's Dirty Randy.
He's Dirty Randy. What was the first game the two of you really got into together? That's easy. Pokemon Masters.
Pokemon Masters.
We were into it. We did not play it right at all, I'm sure.
Did we not?
I don't think. I think that I didn't have the rule book. But yeah, we played that one a lot. And then besides that, it would have been Game of Thrones.
Definitely.
Yeah. John Hedberg again. Any cons you plan on attending over the next year? We were thinking about going to PAX Unplugged because it happens to be like literally following up our Disney trip in November, December, but we haven't fully decided on that.
I think we're going to.
Yeah, so we're going to try to get to PAX Unplugged for this year. And then other than that, looking forward to next year, we'll get to something. I just don't know what. It's really going to depend on...
Everything's up in the air right now.
Everything's up in the air. I get to travel a lot with work. I can go to our events, which are all over the US. So it'd be really great if I could line it up with something like that.
I mean, to be fair, you'll likely see Jamie at more cons than me. Because again, she can travel with her work. I can't. So, and obviously I can't afford to go and meet her at every one of her events to then go to a con, but
I don't want to go by myself. I'm too awkward.
You'll know people there.
Max, will you come with me?
They'll take you under their wing.
I'd love to go to Gen Con. I'd love to go to BGB Con.
Yeah, I want to go to all of them and meet people. And
obviously, I'd love to go to Dice Tower East because it's in Orlando. So
yeah, tack
that on with a Disney trip.
That actually might be one we go to.
But I think it's in like July. We would literally know.
Now
here's the real question. Jash from
Table Knots.
Jash from Table Knots. We want to know our shoe size, which tacks on to our height, size in general.
So this is a thing that like people I don't think discuss enough when you're talking about content creators and stuff, is like you don't have any idea how
giant we are.
Giant people are. We are incredibly tiny humans. I am 5'7" and Jamie is 5'4".
And a quarter.
So we are on the short end of the spectrum.
Yep.
My shoe size is 9.5.
I'm a 7.5.
So whatever you need to do with that information, Jash, you weirdo. Yeah, but we're tiny humans.
We're just little.
So when you meet us in person, if you meet us in person, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like towering over us if you're tall.
Yeah, when Max first, because I think Max is quite tall.
Yeah, I think Max said he's like 5'10" and
5'11" or something.
Yeah,
Danielle's 5'7".
And Doolin's also 5'10" or 5'11", so
we be short.
We be short.
Oh, another one from Jash. What's your favorite non-board game related YouTube channel? That's easy for me. It's Paging Mr. Morrow. So if I'm not watching board game YouTube, I am watching Disney YouTube of people who go to Disney, like Tim Tracker, Paging Mr. Morrow, All Ears. Like I watch only pretty much exclusively Disney YouTube, but Paging Mr. Morrow is my favorite. If you're into Disney, you need to follow him. He's the happiest, nicest human ever. Everything is just so positive, and I could watch him do pretty much anything.
I don't really watch anything
what I watch.
outside of what Jamie's watching. One I'll mention, though, is I really like watching Command Zone.
Oh, Command Zone. Yeah, for Magic.
They do Commander Magic. I really like it.
Post Malone was on there once.
Post Malone was on it.
And the very last question we have is from MacBook Pro.
I love that name.
Me too. I asked my standard question. This is a question that he usually asks. Where were you when Wham broke up? He's like, but you guys probably weren't alive yet. So Wham broke up in 1986, and I haven't. I was born in 1988. So I was just a ghost.
Yeah, I was
a pre-baby ghost.
I was 1987, so I was just a twinkle in the eye.
Little twinkle in the eye.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are all of the questions. But like, I mean, there's obviously stuff that we didn't cover. Like we just kind of said our age. We've covered what we do. We have 5 animals, 3 cats, 2 dogs.
Too many.
Not enough. We live in Nova Scotia, beautiful province in Canada.
I grew up on a farm.
Jeff grew up on a farm. I did not. I go to the farm and I pick out cows I like, and his dad says, don't do that.
Went to Mount Allison University.
Yep. I have a degree in psychology.
I have a degree in religious studies.
And he's in IT and I do HR.
Yeah.
I feel like I use my psychology degree all the time in HR.
Fancy how that works.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, religious studies. History of religion is a better way to look at it.
Not theology.
Yeah.
So that's all for our very first Q&A. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. Maybe down the road sometime we'll do another one.
Yeah.
So start thinking of some other questions and we'll ask when we're ready. But yeah, that's all that we have.
We'll ask when. Oh.
We'll ask you
Gotcha.
when we're good ready.
Yeah.
So that's all that we have for you guys today. We've talked about the Discord many times.
Oh, we forgot a question.
We did.
Daniel Sequira asked me a question.
Oh, God.
So Dan Sequira is in our Discord, and he's
he's the one that we go to the Wanderers with.
Yeah, he's one of my best buddies. And he asked why I'm always... What did he say?
Yawning.
Dan asked, has Jeff always been this short? And why does he complain so much on the videos?
That's a great question.
So, one, I've always been this short.
Yeah.
Can confirm. 2, I don't complain a lot. I think that's erroneous. And screw you.
Why won't Jeff share his grilled cheese with Jamie?
Why won't Jeff share his grilled cheese with Jamie? I've addressed this.
That's a great question. He's very
moving
rude.
on.
Jamie doesn't share food.
Dan also asked 5 game recommendations for people trying to get into board games more.
We'll do a whole video on that. Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Dan, can you hold, please?
That's
it?
Yeah, and then it's just Kyle.
It's just Kyle, just chatting.
Kyle just chatting.
Oh my God, Kyle!
I don't even want to read all that.
So yeah, like I just said, we've mentioned our Discord numerous times in this video. If you are interested, please feel free to join the Discord.
Yes.
The link is down below. The Discord is the best place to be.
Yeah.
We have some pretty awesome
And also
people.
too, if like people are like, is there there's no charge to join the
free.
Discord.
Discord is free.
Other than your sanity, because it's crazy.
You need to be good with gifts.
Yeah.
Like to listen to jokes.
And when you enter, you have to like the
please react
the
to the
rules. Just thumbs up the rules and you're good.
And you're good. You'll get right in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Discord is an amazing place. There is over 100 people in there already.
Last time I checked, it was 118, I think.
Yeah, and there's channels for literally everything that you could want. And if there isn't one and you know that there's a bunch of people who are interested in talking about that, just let us know.
Like Kyle loves to talk about
himself.
Music. He loves to talk about music in the general chat, or he loves to talk about books in the movies and TV chat, or Max likes to talk about something random in the non-random channel. It's chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos in the old world.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, definitely join us there. We do have one channel that is a Patreon exclusive channel. We do have Patreon, so if you do sign up for our Patreon, you will gain access to that channel where you can talk to us in a bit of a smaller group
more
setting.
Intimate setting.
Yep. The links for all of that will be down below. Other than that, don't forget to visit your friendly local gaming store for all of your gaming needs. For us here in Halifax, that is the Boardroom Gaming Cafe. All of their information will be right here and listed down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Follow us on social media. We are at Foster the Meeple on Instagram and Twitter. But other than that, that's all we have for you guys today. So thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye.
Go Wanderers.
Goodbye, go Wanderers. Woo!
Later days.
Hello. Welcome back to Foster the Meeple. That's too loud. Oh, the year was 1778. Is that the right year?
Yes.
Okay. I got my vaccine reminder.
Nice. And to Jane.
Gotta get a new joke.